Welcome to Sewing with Sandy. Today we're going to make these cute little infant head wrap bows. It's a very simple process. It has this 2 little bow ends sewn together and 2 little tails that come out in a pretty little decoration. So this happens to be a holiday bow, all in one color. You can make contrasting bows, so these come out a different color, and these nice little soft headbands are perfect for a baby. Today we're going to work on a pumpkin bow, and the bow part is going to be pumpkin, and then the ribbon part hanging out is going to be this cute little plaid. So I've cut 2 8-inch pieces of the pumpkin and 2 5.5-inch pieces of the plaid, and then a 3-inch piece of the pumpkin to wrap around the center. And what you want to do is you want to take a lighter and just go over your edges with the lighter really quickly, and that keeps it from fraying. Don't go too long. It may burn the edges, and you don't like that because then it'll be harsh. And sometimes if it's not a fraying type of ribbon, I don't even bother. So first thing I want to do is I want to fold my ribbon, my 8-inch ribbon, in half, even at the edges, and put a pin in the middle because I want my loops to be balanced. So I'm going to take one side and put it over the pin, past the pin, because I'm going to stitch where the pin is. I'm going to take the second side, and I'm also going to put that one past the pin. So now you can see I have my 2 little loops here, and I'm going to reposition my pin so it's holding everything. And then just to be on the safe side, I want to check and make sure that my loops are the same. I'm going to fold it at the pin and make sure that my loops are the same size, because it would look silly if you had one loop that was much bigger than the other. Then I just have a double strand of knotted thread here. Knot down at the bottom, and I'm going to start at the one side of my pin, and I'm going to come up through the bottom, and I'm going to go back down. I just want to anchor this first stitch because you have to do a little bit of a tug, and I don't want the thread to come undone. All right, so now I'm going to begin my bow stitch. So I'm going to go up and down, and this is the same stitch that you do regardless of whether it's a 5/8 inch ribbon like this or a 2-inch ribbon. You want the same amount of stitches. So up, down, and then up a final time. So I can take my pin out. So I knotted this first end, then I came up, down, and finally up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on this thread to engage the ribbon and get it to fold. This ribbon is a little stiff. It's a grosgrain burlap type of ribbon, but you can help it along a little bit. And you can see while I've pulled it, it's made this little bow shape. And I'm just going to wrap my thread around there really tightly 3 or 4 times, and now I have this cute little bow. So I need to secure my thread. I'm going to go through those loops that I made around there with the thread once, and then go through a second time, and then knot off my thread by going through that extra loop. All right, now I have this bow, my thread's still attached. I have this bow that I just made, and I have another bow that's identical to that. And what I'm going to do is kind of give them a little push. I'm going to give this top one a little push up because I want them to meet together like a butterfly at the center. Right there. So I'm matching up these centers, and then I'm going to take my thread that's already attached and I'm just going to wrap it around both of them and then knot it off again. So through the wraparound and then through the wraparound a second time with a knot added. There we go. And I have the center part of my bow. That didn't take very long, very quick. All right, now we're going to make the second part of our bow, which is these little tails here, right? So we're going to cut them at an angle. So these are 5.5 inches, and I'm going to fold them and match up the edges and then just put a little snip in there on each side. And you want to snip from the center out to the edge, and then you can run that through your lighter. So we'll do that to both 5.5 inch pieces. Now we're going to also measure the center of these. So we're going to fold them in half and put a pin in there. I'm going to do each one just so I know where the center is. Fold it in half. Sometimes you have a one-way ribbon, so you want to make sure that it's folded so the pretty side is on the outside. This one happens to be the same on both sides. And I'm going to take my double thread and I'm going to turn these into little ribbons the same way I did the bows, except it's just one piece. So I'm going to secure my thread in the edge so it doesn't, so the knot doesn't pop through when I pull on it. And that's right over my pin. And I'm going to come up, 1, down, 2, up 3, down 4, and up 5. So now I have this little row of basting stitches that are going through the center of my ribbon, and I'm just going to pull it tight. You can see how this one's much softer. Wrap it around, secure it off just like we did with the other one. You want to make sure you pull those threads so that they're not like looped and bunched. So now I've created my second tail. I have 2 tails, and I like to cross these over. You can bunch them again like the other ones. I like to cross them over right at the juncture where I've stitched them, and again I'm going to loop them together so they form a little cross piece, and then tie it off. Tie off my string, and then we're done with the sewing. The rest of it's hot glue. And you can do this with the hot glue. I don't find it as successful. I mean, you can bunch them together by hand and then hot glue them, but in general I don't think that it works quite as well. And it certainly doesn't stay as long. The thread adds a dimension of security. So if your little girls are as rough and tumble as my little girls are, you need that little bit of extra. So now I have my crossbow piece and I have my pumpkin bow piece. I want to make sure I turn them right sides up, and you can kind of fluff and fold them a little bit and arrange them in the way that you like them. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue this top bow piece onto this bottom bow piece. So I'm going to kind of arrange this a little bit so it's a little bit squishy, and you can play with them. I'm going to move this one so it's a little bit more full. I'm just going to put a little dab of glue right here on the center of my back piece, my cross piece, and add my bow piece on top. Right, so, and that doesn't take any time. And this is my cover piece, right, so it's going to cover up all my stitching. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue right here in the center. I'm going to attach my pumpkin. I'm going to center that orange pumpkin and attach that, so it's just, I'm going to give it a second. Take out all these glue pieces. And then this gets wrapped around to the back and glued down. Just a little bit more glue. Wrap this around to the back. Give it a good tug. Because we want the bow to look puffy, right? And then do the same thing. I'm just going to trim this a little bit. Do the same thing to the other side. Hot glue. Give it a good tug. There. And then you can fluff and fold this a little bit while the glue is still a little bit pliable and get it. But look, how sweet is that, right? Super sweet. So now the only step left is to attach it to our ribbon, and you can buy these, you know, at Joann's or any kind of supply store, and if you use one of our kits, they come with our kit. And we're going to put a little bit of glue on the back here, just kind of a little line of glue. And we're going to attach our ribbon to the back, and just hold it for a second. And there you have it. Sweetest little hair bow for your favorite little baby. So check out our Etsy store. You can buy these. We have them, all kinds of them. We have some for bigger children also, but these little sweet ones we have, and we have kits for them. So it has all the ribbon and the hair bands that you need. Happy sewing. Bye.